At the annual family photo, my brother looked at me and said, "Can someone get him out of the shot? He ruins the whole F***king look." My dad didn't even turn around, just said, "Yeah, take him out. He's not someone we need in this family shot." Nobody objected. Nobody even looked at me. I said, "You'll regret this sooner than you think," and left. A year later, I did something that tore the family apart. Now they're calling every hour, voicemails, messages, begging, "Please come back. We'll do whatever you want. Just talk to us." All right. So, I don't even post here. Never thought I'd write something like this, but after what happened at my family's annual picture day, I just need to get this out and see if I'm actually bugging or if this was as messed up as I think. IDK. Maybe just need someone to confirm I'm not losing it. This is literally about as far from a movie as you can imagine. It's just my life, but here goes. So, every year my family does this huge photo thing, like a big staged family portrait. All matching colors and forced smiles. You know the vibe. My grandma is the one who started it, but she's not really involved anymore. Just sort of watches from her spot in the living room now. She's not the type to say much, just gives you that look like she's tired of everyone's drama anyway. It's always the same routine. People start showing up around noon. And there's this weird pressure in the air that nobody talks about, but you feel it. Like if your shirt isn't ironed or you bring up the wrong thing, someone's going to make a comment. My family is all about presentation, like posting the perfect shot on Instagram and pretending we're tight. But everyone's group chats tell another story. I show up wearing the shirt my mom said to wear, navy, because it looks good on camera. And I get this weird look from my brother Philip. He's the golden boy. Always has been. Literally every photo, he's dead center. Everyone else arranged around him like he's some kind of sun. Not even exaggerating. So it starts with him making this dumb joke about how I still haven't figured out how to dress myself at almost 30. Classic Philip, always needs to have the last word. I just ignore him. Whatever. Not worth it. My dad is fussing with the lighting or something, getting annoyed that the vibe isn't right. And mom is just hovering, smiling way too hard like she's auditioning for a commercial. The first weird thing is that nobody's talking to me. Like, I walk in and get a few nods, but no real hello, just this awkward shuffle. Cousins are all on their phones. Aunts are in the kitchen acting busy. And it just feels off, like I'm some guest who wandered in by mistake. I mean, I always knew I wasn't their favorite, but this was next level. We get set up outside. Backyard, fake grass, folding chairs, the works. My Uncle Jerry is arguing about where to put the dog so it doesn't ruin the aesthetic. And I'm just standing there watching it all, thinking how weird it is that everyone is so stressed about a photo nobody even looks at after the post gets like 200 likes. Philip is already annoyed. Keeps looking at his phone like he's got better things to do, but he won't leave because he needs the attention. So finally, the photographer, a family friend, not even good, just cheap, says, "Everyone get in place." I'm standing on the end like always, and Philip looks at me and literally says out loud, not even trying to whisper, "Can someone get him out of the shot?" He ruins the whole F.ing look. Dead silence. I kind of laugh, thinking he's joking, but he just stares at me. My dad doesn't even turn around, just says, "Yeah, take him out. He's not someone we need in this family shot." And the thing is, nobody pushes back. Not one person. Mom just looks at the ground. Jerry shrugs and moves over. Even Grandma doesn't say anything. I just stand there waiting for someone to laugh or say, "Okay, that's enough." But they just don't. I probably stood there a bit too long, honestly, just hoping it was a bit or something. I feel my face getting hot and I just ask, "You serious right now?" And Philip just goes, "Yeah, serious. Can you move?" Then he actually puts his hand on my shoulder and tries to walk me out of the frame. I push him back. Not hard, but enough that he stumbles, and he gets pissed. Starts yelling about how I'm making a scene. How I always do this. Whatever. Dad steps in, tells me to stop acting like a child. Says I was never good at being part of the family. Says it's always about me. I just snap at that point. I'm not even sure what I said. Something like, "You'll regret this sooner than you think." And I walk off. I slam the gate behind me. Didn't even care if they heard it. Nobody followed me out. So yeah, that's how I got kicked out of my own family photo. I sat in my car for a while, just kind of scrolling through nothing, trying to figure out if I should just go back in and act like nothing happened. But honestly, I was done. I could see them through the window, all grouped up, laughing at something Philip said, like I was the punchline and everyone was in on it except me. Thing is, this isn't new. Philip's always acted like I'm some inconvenience, like the family would be better if I just went away. He's Dad's favorite, always has been. I was the kid who didn't want to do the sports thing, who didn't fake a smile for Facebook, who called out the double standards. My mom just kind of floats between trying to keep the peace and pretending nothing's wrong. I guess I never played the part they wanted, so they just decided I didn't fit the picture. Literally. I left, didn't say goodbye, didn't check my phone for the rest of the night. Next day, bunch of texts from my mom, just, "Hope you're okay," types. Nothing from Dad or Philip. Got left out of the family group chat. Not even subtle, just gone. Didn't get tagged in the photo when they posted it. Not that I was in it anyway. Saw a few comments from family friends asking where I was. Nobody replied. I know some people are going to say I should just cut them off and move on, but it's not that simple. It's not about needing their approval. It's just IDK. It's about not letting them pretend they can treat me like this and walk away clean. They want to make me invisible, like I never counted. But I'm not just going to let that slide anymore. So, I've got a plan. I'm not going to just sit back and take it this time. They want to push me out. Fine. But they're not going to like what comes next. Not going to say too much yet, but let's just say they're all a lot more dependent on me than they realize. And I'm done playing nice. That's it for now. If anyone's actually read this far, I appreciate it. I'll update if anything happens, but for real, I'm not letting this go. They wanted a perfect family shot. Cool. Let's see how perfect things look when I'm not around to hold it together. Update 1. So yeah, here's the follow-up I said I'd post. NGL, it's been kind of wild. Not in some movie way, just like every little thing feels off now. I thought maybe things would settle and everyone would just ignore me like usual, but nah. It's like the family found a new gear for passive aggression. If you didn't catch my first post, basically my brother Philip and my dad booted me from the family photo like I was ruining the aesthetic. Everyone else just let it happen. I walked out, told them they'd regret it, and just peaced out. The first weird thing was the way everyone acted like nothing even happened. I didn't hear from my dad at all. Nothing from Philip either. My mom sent me one of those texts that's just, "Are you okay?" and a heart emoji. I replied, "Fine," and she never followed up. The family group chat? I was out. Like, gone. Not even a, "Hey, Lorenzo left the chat," notification, just erased. I only noticed because my cousin Faith replied all to a meme and I couldn't see it. So I asked her and she just said, "Oh, I thought you left." Classic. I started getting left out of every little thing. Uncle Jerry's barbecue, my cousin's birthday, even the casual hangouts that usually pop up in the group chat. At first, I thought, whatever, maybe they're giving me space. But then I saw on Instagram they went to Selena's art thing downtown, all smiles, and nobody even bothered to tag me or invite me. Philip was front and center in all the pics. Dad in the background like he's the king of the family. I guess I should have seen it coming, but it still kind of hit different. What really got me was how fast everyone just adjusted to me being gone. I saw my Aunt Bridget at the grocery store and she barely said hi. Just grabbed her stuff and walked off. My mom started sending me these weird short messages, like she was afraid someone would see them. I tried calling her once. She picked up and said she was busy, then hung up. I called again, went to voicemail. She texted me an hour later, just "Sorry, busy." So yeah, I got the hint. The family's always been kind of like this, TBH. Philip's the favorite. Always has been. He does the sports thing. He posts the right stuff. He knows how to work Dad. Dad's always cared about how we look to other people. Like, the whole family image thing is his big project. I was always the one who said stuff he didn't want to hear or just didn't fit the brand. I know that annoys him. I think Philip just likes having someone to dump on, someone to blame when he screws up or doesn't get his way. I'm not even mad about that anymore. It's just how he is. But here's where it gets kind of funny. In a messed up way, my family loves their little traditions, but they also love their money. The family fund is a real thing. Not huge, but it's a trust from my grandma meant for big expenses, family trips, stuff like that. I'm the one who manages it because grandma didn't trust anyone else to keep track of things. It's not like I can spend it on myself, but I get final say on what goes out. So, if someone wants to use it for a vacation or whatever, they need my okay. I never really thought about it. It was just a chore, but now it's like the only time I hear from them is about the fund. So, after the photo thing, suddenly I start getting these emails from my dad, all business, asking if I can approve this or that expense for their annual trip. Then, Philip starts texting, acting like nothing happened. Just says, "Hey, bro, can you look at the request for the house rental this summer?" Like, no apology, just straight to business. I ignored him. Next day, Mom calls first time in weeks and asks if I could help out just this once. I told her to send it in an email. She got quiet and hung up. I checked the fund requests and, no joke, they're asking for way more than usual, like double. I think they just assumed I'd rubber stamp it like before. So, I decided to take my time. I emailed back and asked for all the receipts and expenses because that's literally what Grandma said to do if things ever got weird. Dad replied with a paragraph about family trust and not making things difficult. I replied with the fund rule, just copy-paste. Philip didn't like that. He called me and started yelling that I was being petty and ruining things for everyone. I said if he wanted to talk, he could do it in writing. He hung up. If you're wondering, yeah, I know this is starting to sound petty, but for real, they brought it on themselves. All those years of being the backup guy, the one they pushed to the side. Now they actually need me for something, and I'm not in the mood to play along. I started being super strict about the rules, asking for every receipt, every explanation. No more, just trust us. If they missed a detail, I sent it back. I could tell it was driving them nuts. The fallout wasn't just about money, though. My dad's girlfriend started asking why the family wasn't doing the big 4th of July trip this year. My aunt messaged me asking if I could just approve it so everyone can move on. I told her it wasn't my problem. She blocked me. Even my grandma noticed something was up. She called once, just sort of sighed, and said, "They're making a mess, aren't they?" I said, "Yeah." And she just said, "They always do." It was the first time she actually took my side, even a little. One day, Philip showed up at my place out of nowhere. He let himself in, still had a key from before, which I took back. He started talking fast, like he could convince me to just give in if he acted like we were close. He said I was being dramatic and making it all about me. I told him he was the one who made it clear I wasn't family. He got mad, tried to grab my phone off the table when I ignored him. I shoved him back, told him to get out. He slapped the counter on his way to the door, then slammed it behind him. No apology, no conversation, just more pressure. The family started posting all these happy family pics on Facebook, pretending nothing was wrong. I started getting messages from random relatives I barely knew. Some saying I needed to let it go, others saying I was doing the right thing. It was weird. Like, everyone picked a side and nobody really knew what was actually going on. To be honest, it's not even about the fund or the money. It's about the fact they think they can erase me and then just call me when they need something. Like they want me invisible except when it's convenient for them. I'm done with that. No more being the backup plan. Last week, Dad sent this long email about family unity and how I was hurting everyone by dragging this out. He CC'd everyone, like I was going to fold under the pressure. I replied all with the fund rules again, just straight up. Philip texted me that night, said maybe they should just find a way to get rid of me for good. Thing is, they can't. Grandma made sure of that. So, yeah, it's not over. I'm not backing down this time. They wanted me out of the picture. Now they get to see what that actually looks like. I'm not letting them off easy. Not even close. Next step's already moving. We'll update when the next round hits. Update 2. So, I guess I'm back with another update. And NGL, this is the one where things actually start getting spicy. People keep telling me in DMs like, "Bro, you're so patient." I'd have lost it by now. But honestly, I'm not patient. I just spent most of my life getting handled by these people. Now, I'm just not. So, after all the fun drama, it's like the whole family went on this campaign to make me the villain, which is wild because literally all I'm doing is what Grandma wrote down in black and white. But yeah, I'm the difficult one. Every family chat I'm still in, which is not many now, is just weird side comments and jokes about paperwork. My Aunt Bridget texted me this meme of a guy drowning in paperwork, and I just sent back the fund rule. IDK, it's petty. But I'm at that point where I don't care. The first sign they were getting desperate was when Philip called me at like 10 a.m. on a Sunday. Not a, hey, how are you, call, more like he was ready to bargain. He starts out all friendly, asking if I've seen this new movie, then slides into, so, about the fund. Can you just let it through this one time for Dad's birthday trip? Everyone's going to be mad at me if I don't. I told him, send me the docs. He tried to laugh it off, then asked if I was really going to be that guy. I said, yeah, I am. Next week, the emails start coming from my dad, except now they're CCing literally everyone. One was all about family legacy, not letting petty grudges tear us apart. I replied all with the spreadsheet and pointed out where they didn't match the rules. I just sent them the rules and said that's what I'm following. There was a real moment at Jerry's house where things almost got physical. Philip showed up and tried to corner me by the garage, said if I didn't knock it off, he'd just go around me. I told him, good luck. Grandma made sure nobody could override me unless I broke the rules, and I wasn't. He got in my face, called me a loser, and shoved me. I shoved him back. Jerry stepped in and told Philip to chill, but that just made him angrier. Philip stormed off and slammed the front door so hard the dog started barking. The rest of the family started showing cracks, too. Bridget and Selena started arguing over who gets to use the fund for what, like I'm not even there. My mom sent me this long text about how family is supposed to support each other. And I just replied, I'll support anyone who doesn't treat me like a problem to solve. She didn't answer. I started noticing stuff on social media. The family posts were getting less happy, more filtered, more like they were just forcing it for show. People started messaging me on the side. Some of them asking if I was okay, others telling me to just let it go. I kept reminding myself, this is what they wanted. They wanted me out of the picture. Now they get it. Full version. The best worst part. Dad's old friend group started asking questions like, why is the family not doing the annual trip? Why is there no big post this year? Dad tried to blame me, but then I guess word got around that I was just following the rules. Grandma left. People started asking him why he couldn't just get along. I guess for the first time, the perfect family thing started looking fake from the outside. At one point, Philip tried to get sneaky. He sent a request for a family emergency payout. No details, just vague stuff. I called him out, CC'd everyone, and asked for full documentation. He exploded in the chat, accused me of ruining the family, and then left the chat. Mom called me crying, said he was so stressed and that I was making everything worse. I told her they made their choice, and she hung up. Last night was the breaking point. I got a call from Grandma, first call in months. She said she saw what was happening, said she was proud of me for sticking to my guns, and that she didn't want the fund to be used for nonsense anyway. She said if people were mad, that was their problem. I never thought she'd actually say it, but I guess even she's tired of the act. So now nobody's talking to each other. The family split into little camps, everyone blaming everyone else for why things are falling apart. The group chats are dead. Family events are just awkward messes. I show up only when Grandma asks. And even then, I keep it short. I know some people are going to say this is too much or that I should just move on. But nah, they wanted to freeze me out and treat me like nothing. Now they get to see what nothing looks like. And I'm not even done yet. We'll update when the final round hits. They think this is bad. Wait till they see what's coming. Final update. Alright, so here it is. The update a bunch of you wanted. Honestly, I didn't plan for things to get this far, but I'm not going to pretend I feel bad about it either. I warned them. They wanted to cut me out for real. So, I gave them exactly what they asked for, just not the way they pictured. So, it's been pretty much a full year since the photo incident. In that time, like I said before, everything with the family trust got tight. No more freebies. No more, just this once, exceptions. No more pretending I was just the annoying little brother they could ignore until they needed something signed. Every request had to be airtight. Every expense got combed over. Every little inconsistency. I started keeping a spreadsheet of every conversation, every receipt, every time they tried to go around me. Not because I'm paranoid, but because I knew at some point someone was going to try to accuse me of being unfair or abusing power. I wanted it all lined up. What's wild is how quickly they started cracking. At first, it was just the usual guilt trips and, "Can't you just help us out?" nonsense. Then it turned into not-so-subtle threats, like Philip saying maybe he'd talk to Grandma about getting the trust changed. Good luck, bro. She's the one who set this up to keep you from blowing it all on dumb Schuster T. Dad tried to act like it was all beneath him. But I heard from Faith that he's been ranting to everyone who'll listen about how I'm tearing the family apart. Nobody was buying it, though, especially not after I started showing people the actual rules. All I had to do was forward the docs and say, "These are Grandma's words, not mine." But here's where it really went nuclear. Around the anniversary of the photo, I get a formal letter, an actual letter, not an email from Dad and Philip, basically demanding a family meeting to resolve the situation. They CC'd a bunch of extended family like they wanted to put me on the spot in front of everyone. I almost laughed. I replied said, I'd be happy to explain everything on one condition. We do it at Grandma's house with her present, and I get to record the whole thing. Nobody liked that idea, but Grandma said fine, so they had no choice. The meeting was awkward as hell. Everyone shows up, nobody looking at each other. Philip's got his "I'm the victim" face on. Dad's trying to play the peacekeeper, but you can tell he's itching to start yelling. Bridget's whispering to Selena in the corner. Faith just scrolling on her phone. They try to open with some speech about family unity and putting the past behind us. I cut it off, said, if anyone wants to talk about the trust, we do it by the book. I laid out the rules again, showed the emails, showed the printouts. Every time Dad or Philip tried to spin something, I had receipts. Every time someone said I was being unreasonable, I pointed back to the trust docs. At one point, Philip got so mad he slapped his hand on the table and stood up. But Grandma shut him down fast. She just said, "Lorenzo's not doing anything wrong. If you don't like the rules, blame me." That was the first time in my life I actually saw Philip speechless. Dad tried to salvage it, but the room was done. Jerry got up and left. Bridget slammed her purse on the table and said she was done with all this drama. Selena started crying about how she just wanted things to be normal. Faith finally looked up from her phone and said, "Maybe you all should have thought of that before you froze Lorenzo out." I didn't even ask her to say that. She just did. After that meeting, it was like a switch flipped. Nobody called. Nobody texted. I went to Grandma's a couple times just to check in. And she mostly just shook her head at how ridiculous it all was. She told me she was proud of me for not backing down. Said she knew this day would come. That's why she set things up the way she did. But here's the kicker. After about 2 months of silence, it started. First, it was a text from my mom asking if I could just talk to Philip, try to make peace. I ignored it. Then, Dad called, left a voicemail saying he didn't want things to end up like this and could I just call him back. I didn't. Then, the floodgates opened. Philip texted me every day for a week. Bridget emailed me 3 times in a day with subject lines like, "Urgent family crisis." Selena tried the whole, "I miss you" routine. Even Jerry called and left a rambling message about how, "We're family, man. We can't go on like this." Grandma said they'd been blowing up her phone, too, asking what it would take to get me to come back. She told them to deal with their own mess. Now, it's been like this for weeks. I get voicemails at every hour. Emails, texts, Facebook messages, even a handwritten note from my mom left at my door. All of them saying basically the same thing, "Please come back. We'll do whatever you want. Just talk to us." Sometimes it's pathetic, sometimes it's angry, sometimes it's both in the same message. Philip even showed up at my place again, banging on the door. I told him to leave. He yelled through the door that I was being selfish, that the family needed me. I didn't answer. I know some people will say I should be the bigger person. But honestly, why? These people spent years making me feel like I didn't belong, like I was something to hide. And the second they needed me to fix what they broke, suddenly I'm the most important person in the world.